1, 2.
Oh, wait.
Oh. It's always a false start. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, now I gotta. Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Brittany. This is my wife, Bridget. Together, we're neither funny nor original. And this week, we're going to talk being our authentic, boring selves during Pride Month with a focus on queer literature.
This week, yes, is queer literature.
Yes, this week.
We want to focus on Pride for all of June because June is Pride Month. But we want to focus on it in a different way. Mm-hmm. A lot of people love to go out to the parades and they love to go out to parties.
Which is great.
It's, this huge festival for them. It's not for us.
Yeah, it's not. So we like to celebrate in the confines of our home, yes. But we still like to celebrate. So this is how we celebrate. And maybe you are like that as well too. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. We're going to try to hit different subjects for the month of June for Pride Month, celebrating Pride Month, but with literature, film, music. So if you're all about that life, if you're all about being an introvert, being at home, this episode's for you. So let's get into it with the word of the week.
So the word of the week, I thought it was fitting to go with the definition of pride, which is a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. And I was like, well, how did that get adopted for, the queer community? So I looked up pride definition for LGBT, and in the context of LGBTQ+, it's pride signifies a sense of self-worth and acceptance, particularly in the face of historical and ongoing discrimination. Growing up as a little Christian youth, I was always told pride is going to be your downfall. You cannot be prideful. You have to be humble and, self-effacing in majority of times. And to kind of flip that as an adult, where I am proud of who I am because it's just who I am. And then proud of the things that I've accomplished and proud of the places that I've been. It's been a real big, different experience for me. And now I'm yes, every time I talk to my sisters, I'm be proud of who you are and the decisions you're making. You have to stand firm in all these things. And, some of them still go to church. So they're no, you cannot be prideful. But it's okay, but being prideful is not you being full of yourself. It's being proud of the things that you've been able to accomplish and be things that you've done. Yeah. So that's that.
Well, thank you. That kind of goes into, I wanted to briefly go over Pride Month and the history of it. So for those of you who don't know, Pride Month, it's celebrated in June, usually all month long. Different places, depending on where you live, they're probably having some Pride festival, parade, something like that to celebrate it. But it commemorates the 1969 Stonewall riots and the subsequent LGBTQ plus liberation movement. It began with the first Pride marches held in 1970, 1 year after the riots, and then has grown into a month-long celebration of the LGBTQ plus history, culture, and resilience. So in 1969, the Stonewall riots in New York, they were a series of protests in response to a police raid at the Stonewall Inn. And that was pretty much what kind of sparked the gay movement and how people were treated. And then the first gay pride marches were in 1970. They were held in 4 U.S. cities. So that's New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. And then 99, President Bill Clinton officially declared June as Gay and Lesbian Pride Month. And then 2009, Obama declared June as LGBT Pride Month. And then 2015, the Supreme Court's decision in Obergefell, that's a word, that's a last name, versus Hodges legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. And that was a huge milestone for LGBTQ. It's actually insane to me because Bridge and I were together, but we were in the closet during that time. And I remember being at work, and I'm the worst to begin with following the news, but I had a gay coworker that I was working with, and I remember someone telling him, "Hey, congrats!" And he's like, "Oh yeah, thank you." And And then they're like, I just heard on the news. That's awesome. So are you guys going to get married? And I was like, what is he talking about? And then that's when I saw that they had, legalized same-sex marriage. But it's weird to me that I remember that a few years ago.
It felt like maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like just how still new a lot of it is, and just being able to be together, and we always try to remember that as well, because the gay pride, lesbian, all like the movement of it is still so fresh and young. I mean, I feel sometimes like it's easy to see black and white pictures, or like pictures we know like, oh, that's old, and think we're so far removed from that. Wow, it's been, decades. And while it has, like, it's not, 69 anymore, it is still like, well, my mom was born actually in 68. Yeah. So thinking about, oh, well, like it wasn't that long ago. So I'm super fortunate to be here. I'm super fortunate to be born the time I was born, to be able to have a wife that we are, for the most part, out and safe, and people want to celebrate us. I think that's so awesome. So however you choose to celebrate, whether you celebrate or not, this month we wanted to focus on different ways we celebrate Pride Month, which for us, if we're being honest, we don't choose one month specifically. We're going to celebrate Pride Month.
Specifically Pride Month.
Yeah, I think it's like an awareness of it, and always this feeling of gratitude. And we try to remember that year long. But for us, it's a way, though, to also, well, what are the queer things that we like, or like businesses we can support? And so this month, because we are the worst, like queers, gays, bridges by, we're the worst. We're not really the best at involvement in the community. And that's really because we're pretty introverted. We're homebodies.
There's a reason why we have a sticker, antisocial bisexual.
Yeah.
Because Brittany is purely 100% beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful.
Always.
Not introspective. What is introvert? I don't know why that word just slipped my mind.
Introspective though too. Thank you.
This is true. Yes. I am a bit of an ambivert, kind of leaning more towards introvert as I'm getting older, but I can go out and be around people and get like some kind of fulfillment out of it, and like joy, and recharging that way. But definitely when I'm at home is when I'm like the most in my space, recharging type of situation. So for us to think of going out into these parades. No, because large crowds freak us out anyways. We're always like hyper vigilant of like, who's going to be out there for us kind of thing. And then
they're like, literally nobody.
No one. But you hear horror stories of just like being in the world in general, but is dangerous.
But usually pride festivals are horror stories.
Yes, horror stories.
Wrong one.
Ding dong. I said horror. Did I? Horror.
No, but I'm saying no, but it's actually horror stories. WHORE.
Yeah, definitely the whoring it up. But then I just think of like going to parties and stuff. Like we don't have that kind of community either. We've not fostered that, especially being now in another state. Back in California, we probably had more opportunity for it. Yeah, just because we had like a bigger group of people, I guess, that we knew and could have access to those things. But so now we're like, okay, how can we take June for us, Pride Month for us, and use it to encourage other introverts?
And then can I also say something right here on the record, live national TV? I do want to say that I think it's also so important to remember that just because you belong to a community doesn't mean that you're going to be friends with everyone. True. And that's been our experience, if we're being very honest too, because we have done some pride things, especially early on when we came out. Yeah. And then especially moving up here too, where I realized that, like just because we are part of the LGBTQ community, it doesn't necessarily mean that I would like everyone. And I think that...
Or that you'd vibe. Not like... I feel like when we say we don't like everyone, it's like, oh, you're like mean girls. And it's like, no, it's just... We just don't vibe.
No, but I am really like, I don't... I'm not picking up the
That's
vibes.
not my,
yeah, that's not
that's
my
not my-
thing.
yeah.
And I think part of it, at least for me too, is that I don't want to sit around and talk about my sexuality or
Yeah.
the pride movement or anything like that. Now, I am so grateful for everything that happened. And believe me, I am so aware of it. I think randomly, just it'll pop in my mind of, can you believe that we're together and what people had to go through? And I think to myself too, I wish I was more confident in who I am and didn't carry so much shame.
Yeah.
Because I think of all the people before me that had to go through what they went through, that weren't able to be out, and I'm able to be out. So I am so aware of the sacrifices that were made. At the same time, I don't want to talk about that all the time
As a main focus.
And I think that also for me, I actually connect better with people that maybe have similar interests, or similar personality, humor type of things, because that is as big as it is in our life that we are together. It is like, that's not really, it's not enough. Like, it's not enough for me to be, to make friends with another lesbian couple. We would have to vibe. In some kind of way. It wouldn't be, well, you're gay and I'm gay. It's like, I wouldn't just be friends with any Mexican person, or any black person. It just doesn't work that way. So I wanted to just say that right off the bat, because I think that there is at times this expectation that you will get along with every single gay person, with every single lesbian, queer, like within that community too. It could be so isolating. And at times you might feel like you don't belong. I felt like that too, because maybe I don't know all the terminology. I don't know the history of everything. I don't know the colors of every flag. There's so much that is lost on me. And then I forget too that sometimes it feels like, oh, if you get it wrong, you're called out.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure to put on people, especially people that are in the community. It's just, we don't always know everything. At times I feel almost like you have to be a historian of your own community and then be an advocate and always talking about it. That's not me. But I just wanted to say that right off the bat, because I think that there's a lot of people that are also like us, that are like, I belong to the community, but I'm also like doing other things. So I don't really feel included in all the stuff.
It's like it doesn't have to be your main friend group.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Like, and you're not a bad person if it's not, or even if you take no part in like the community,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times it could be very intimidating. Again, it's like going to a party nobody at.
Yeah.
If you're not like that type of people person, then it would be even difficult for me, where I can get along. It's just I get very nervous in like most settings. So like, just don't feel guilty. Own who you are and chase after your own interests. Your sexuality doesn't have to be your whole identity. It is such a small part of who you are, and I feel like we're often told we can't make it a small part of who we are. It has to be everything.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But this month we are going to talk about
this month. It is our
queer,
identity.
Yeah. So queer literature.
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
Yes. So
Okay.
there's a couple of stacks. Again, I'm filming in like a different format, so I'm not sure like what exactly is going to fit into the frame.
Okay.
But if you could see the stack, this is the stack of queer books that I own. And
Maybe you just have to like zoom in on that part.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I talked to Bert about this too, because I was like, I had a long list and I was like, I cannot touch on each of these books in our 1 hour session.
Right.
So I think we're going to make like a blog post. I thought I heard something else.
I think it was like a motorcycle. Or
Oh, okay. I thought it was your stomach.
Putting me on blast.
Putting you on blast. I think we're going to make a blog post of like the books that we've loved and enjoyed, and maybe we'll do it for the following weeks too.
Yeah. That sounds good.
So that's like books that I have absolutely loved that kind of have stuck with me. I think that my main ones though that I will highlight from that stack, it's going to be the Carry On series by Rainbow Rowell.
Yeah.
That's probably what started me into queer literature, because I was on probably Tumblr at the time, looking for dreary fics, and I saw it compared to that. Like, it's basically Harry Potter but gay, magic. They're in like a magical school, and it's a trilogy. So it starts off with them being like, I think 18, 19, and then growing over 3 books where there is significant character growth and it doesn't feel forced. So it felt very natural to kind of go with this progression. It wasn't just a focus on the queer love story, but it was a focus on a couple of different characters and situations. And it was, I don't know. I loved it.
Did
it's
you
not
pull
in
it?
my stack
Oh.
because it's 3 books.
Oh, you should have just put one of them.
Huge.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like, it's okay. I'll just leave it on the stack. It is like a lifelong goal for me to get you to read it.
I will read it.
Brett's not huge into fiction, let alone magical fiction.
Yeah. Let alone romance.
The problem is, I think that the second book is probably my favorite book, Wayward Son.
So I'd have to for sure read the first
You
to at least understand the second.
Okay, not necessarily, because if you remember, when I found this series, I accidentally read the second book first. Well, I listened to it. And then I was like halfway through it when I thought, there has to be a first one to this because there's just stuff that I'm not catching. And turns out, yes, there was.
Yeah.
And then there's just so many lines like that have stuck with me too. I wish I would have highlighted them, but guys, today has been a struggle. I have been in a funk all day long and I just didn't think to even pull these quotes, but maybe I'll include it in the little blog. I feel like I pulled like a Winnie, like and then another like fantasy type of book that I really love is The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I always mess that one up, but it's super like lighthearted, very heartwarming, very cozy, where this guy is like a social worker for magical children and he has to go check on this house on an island that has 6 magical children, one including the Antichrist. And he ends up falling in love with like the caregiver. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but you should like, look into it, still read it. But it's just like a very like cozy.
What was the TJ book that I liked? It was like a superhero, right? TJ
Klune, Fire. I meant to include it.
Cracked me up. TJ.
Yes. You can look that up. But he's written multiple books. There's actually a second book to
The Extraordinaries.
Yes, and then the second book to that one is Firestarter.
Is it Extraordinary or Extraordinaries? The Extraordinaries? Extraordinaries. I
never knew, so I just said whichever word came to mind.
Okay. That one was a good one.
Yeah, so all of his books are really good, very cozy, very slow.
Did you know that the line of it is it's a queer coming of age story about a fanboy with ADHD and the heroes he loves?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, I love that
but it's
one.
very good. It's Brittany in boy form.
Yes. I haven't read that one though, but I know you like that one. The House
on the Cerulean Sea. He came out with a second one, which I have. I just need to read it. Tell me. We just
have a collection of things.
That's 90% of my library.
Yeah,
is that. If you're into, I did include one graphic novel that has stuck with me. It wasn't in your stack, and I don't think you've even read it.
Is it Bloom?
It is Bloom. Bloom by Kevin Pancetta. Oh. I thought it was Panetta, but maybe I just misspelled it.
Okay.
Anyways, I think it's down there, and it is also a cozy, heartwarming, easy read. It's thick, but like I went through it in like the 2-hour nap that Brittany had while trying to entertain myself. But essentially, I had ChatGPT write me a quick summary of these books because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and try to type it all out. But it's a gentle coming of age about 2 teens. Ari dreams of leaving his family's bakery to pursue music. Hector is a quiet, aspiring baker, and they work the summer together, where they go from enemies in Ari's mind to friends to lovers. As their bond deepens, Ari must confront what he truly wants and who he wants to be. So it's a sweet, slow burn romance about love, creativity, and growing up.
That's Bloom?
That's Bloom.
Oh, that sounds cute.
See? So you should read it this month.
He said bread, and I'm interested. Or was it bakery?
Bakery.
Okay.
you heard
bakery, bread. Okay. About food, I'll do it.
Yes. I think you should read that one.
Okay.
It's a graphic novel.
Yeah.
It's going to be gone in like 2 seconds for you.
True. Okay.
I have 2 more that are not on your list.
Okay.
Do you want me to go through them, or do you want to talk about a couple of yours?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, you're only going like, and then these were just ones that you're gonna.
So I'm gonna talk about these ones, which is the ones that, not all of them.
Okay.
I'm not gonna talk about all of them because
Okay.
I'm.
What's the list you're reading from?
The list I'm reading from is just like snatches of my favorite ones that I want you to read, not you. Oh. You.
Okay, go on.
The audience.
Continue.
I want the listeners to read them. Okay.
Yes.
Masters of Death, which is also in my stack by Olivia Blake. It's so good. It's a dark, witty fantasy about a real estate agent who also happens to be a vampire and has like this group of friends that are all, what are the words I'm looking for? Not gay? Something beings. Like not humans.
Celestials?
No. They're not all human. They're like, some are demons, some are vampires, some are one's a siren, and one is
like they're all
mythical creatures.
Oh, okay.
But like in today's world. And the main girl is a vampire, and she like is trying to sell for a living? She's trying to sell this mansion that is haunted by a ghost, but that only like her and her friends can see. No one else can see it. So the ghost has been like running amok trying to get people to not buy the house. And she's trying to find out how he died. And while it's also telling the story of Death's son.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
It's very good. And then they all kind of come together and they have to work together.
Is it because you are also a real estate agent that you like it and you're into vampires?
I'm going to have to put the picture up, aren't I? But Brittany took one picture of me up against a brick wall and she said, "You're a real estate agent."
Britt just has a look when she takes photos sometimes that it's giving real estate agent. I don't know why, but I just see it.
Buy a house from me.
Yes, exactly.
And my last one that is there's a couple that I have on my list that I know you're going to talk about too. So
okay.
I'm not even going to mention them, but
you can mention them.
Okay, I think I will, because the reason why one of them is on your list is because of me. It's my doing. I'm also getting really hot in here, and I realize I have beans on the stove, so I'm like...
That's not a euphemism. Euphemism?
Euphemism. So I'm like, whoo.
I feel great.
Yeah, she has like a blanket on her lap, and she's like, "My arms are cold, but I want to show Emily."
Oh, yes. For literature, Emily Dickinson, because she's gay.
But a novel that Brittany's not going to see coming is a novel called Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. I don't think I've ever really talked about it much.
No.
But it's a modern day novel about 2 women. One's a florist and one's a bartender. The florist comes into like floricize.
So you and me.
You would be the bartender?
Yes.
You would be the bartender. Yes. Like bringing flowers to this restaurant that the bartender is working in. They end up talking, like hanging out and liking each other.
Okay.
But it says that as they navigate love, identity, and past wounds, their relationship is tested by emotional and personal challenges. The story explores healing and self-discovery through quiet, deeply felt moments. It was a slow-paced book. I would say that I wasn't 100% in love with it, but I didn't hate it. It was like I think it was just maybe too slow for me at the time.
Okay.
But it was very calming, very nice. There was no like huge scandal kind of thing, which was nice.
It's like a simple read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my last and probably actually, oh my God, I forgot 2 books. This is how out of it I am.
Nope. You can't cheat.
Well, it's in my stack. Okay. Song of Achilles, my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Greek mythology book, has ruined me for any other story about Achilles or any of the other characters that are in that book. Highly 10 out of 10 recommend reading it. That's all I'll say about that. And then the number 1 book for me is In Memoriam by Alice Wynne. It's in Brittany's stack because she's been trying to finish reading it for a year. I thought you were flipping me off.
No, it's nothing towards Alice.
No, it's just you have different things going on in your life.
I have a very scattered brain, but it stays on my bedside because I am going back to it.
Yes. So just a quick synopsis of that book. It is, in my opinion, this I didn't have chat right because I said, I know this one. I'm going to write it down. It's heartbreaking. Okay. It's about two boys figuring out their sexual identity while being thrust into a very adult life. In other words, they go into a war at like 17, 18 and have to like deal with trauma and grief and fear and just not even knowing if they're going to live past the next couple of hours. It's such a good read. Alice, I found her through fanfic and loved everything that she ever wrote. And she does such a good job at looking doing the looking into the history of that time, and like she did all of the research for like the school that she wanted to portray and everything. So a lot of love and effort and a lot of research went into this novel, and you can feel it when you're reading it.
I agree. The only thing I had written down for that one was just that I love history, but I will embarrass myself and say that whenever it came time to like the war parts of it in school, I got bored. And I think that there was
you're just not a war girly.
I'm not, but I think that there was also a disconnect from it. And I think I always kind of felt too like I was never really getting the full truth of why war even began. And but I will say that Alice's book, I really felt a connection to the wars in our past, and maybe because these characters I just thought of as real men and thoughts that they might have been having when they were, just just even like the awareness of, yes, I'm in school right now, but I'm probably going to have to go to war. And who knows if even what I'm learning is even going to be worth it or relevant, because maybe I won't even live. And so that helped connect me more to the stories that I've always heard, but I never really took interest in it because I never understood it really well. So, and obviously I think because of war being like the major, like the center of the story, the love story within it is different. It's, I think that if she would have told it under different circumstances, it wouldn't have hit the way it did. So I thought that like war itself was a different character within this book, and I really felt connected to that.
That's really, I love that idea of like war being the other character. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds.
Where are you going?
The beans.
Is that your last one?
That was my last one. Hello.
We're back.
I don't know how that transition's going to go.
The beans did not burn.
The beans didn't burn, but very, very nearly burned.
Yeah.
Because there was zero liquid in there.
Oh, they were refried.
Almost.
Okay.
No oil though. Okay, so I am excited to hear about your picks because you had a fat stack.
I did have a fat ass. That too.
One of the other ones I know that you're going to mention is Evelyn Hugo. I don't know what order you want to go in, but I know that we've talked a lot about that one too. All of my opinions are exactly what Brittany's going to say.
I hated it.
What?
I'm just kidding. Okay, we'll go real fast because my wife is long-winded. Hollywood Babylon.
I was under 20 minutes.
You were. I'm reading it in a book club right now. It's pretty much, I will just say, if you ever thought that there was a lot of gay people in Hollywood, it's because there are. And it's kind of like the history of how Hollywood was started. The guy's an interesting writer. He's kind of like, are you okay? But I thought it was an interesting read because I love old Hollywood. But it's like, oh, they were all messed up. So everyone's gay in Hollywood, essentially, is what I'm getting from this book. But it is interesting if you like old Hollywood history, stuff like that. But
do you think your mom's going to read it?
She's heard about it before. I'll ask her. I told her I would send it to her after.
Okay.
The next one here is Fried Green Tomatoes. If you've seen the movie and you were like, I'm getting some gay undertones here. I did. And I really like the friendship between the two main characters.
Essentially, right?
And I found out it was a book, and I was like, well, I want to read the book. And then I found out that it was actually gay, but they took that out of the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, even more. So I read the book. I don't know, it's been at least probably like, how long have we been together? It's probably been at least 15 years since I read the book. But I know I loved it, and it's gay, and I like these old types of stories of what?
Do I have beans in my teeth?
No.
Okay. I tasted the beans. And when I did the slow smell right now, I said, oh no, what if I have a bean in
Big
my
old
tooth?
black bean.
Brittany's favorite fiction books to read
Yes.
are Amish romance novels.
Oh my gosh, that's a lie. I haven't for years, but it is, I do love it. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit with one of these books. Kind of why. Because I'm gay. Well, actually, they're always straight. I don't know. It's weird because I kind of stopped altogether.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So Fried Green Tomatoes, I love it. A really good one. I don't really know what to say about it besides it's like, I think it takes place.
If you like the movie, read the book.
But what if no one's ever read it?
Oh, do you want me to have
It's
Chad
fine.
do it? I'll do it. And then we'll come back to it. Go ahead.
Okay. And then we talked about Alice's book. And I just have to say it because we keep saying Alice. Like if we know her. And it is because
I was like, is that not
Bridge
her name?
Talked about her for so long with the fics that she
Mm-hmm.
wrote. And then when she came out with this book, it was like, oh, Alice, our friend Alice. So that's why we're always talking about Alice. But then I don't actually refer to any of these people by their names.
Oh, you don't?
Like, I mean, I'll say it, but it's always like Alice's book. I never say, it's just Alice.
Oh, yeah. Not in memoriam.
No, it's Alice's book.
Yes.
Okay, so then the other one was Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That I'll just read the back real quick because I didn't write it down either. Well, it's old Hollywood gay.
Yeah.
I will say that. Gay old Hollywood, okay?
It's present day telling the story, the backstory, right? Of someone?
Yes. And to be honest, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Elizabeth Taylor. Because she was married so many times, I think she was married like 8 times or something like that. It's almost like if Elizabeth Taylor,
true, yeah,
we found out years later that she was actually in a relationship with another woman, and maybe with like some smaller actress or something like that. So it's kind of like that. 2 actresses, old Hollywood. They have a relationship with each other, but it's also the telling of the main character, Evelyn Hugo, and all of her relationships. She's bisexual, but just navigating all of that. And that's Maple's input as well, too. What did you have to say about the book?
So, Fried Green Tomatoes.
No, Evelyn Hugo.
Oh, yes, everything. I loved it. I love the book. I love the way that they, each husband was its own story.
Yes.
And I love that they didn't cheapen any of those stories. And I felt like I was sucked into each of those relationships as well.
Yeah. It was a really good one.
Yes.
It's actually one of my favorite books. I really like that one a lot. Okay, we'll go into the, did you want to talk about Fried Green?
No, I mean, look it up.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, look it up. But it's really good.
It is very good.
The movie is
I think
great.
I'll read it.
The movie is great and the book is great, which is very rare, but I loved it so much. Okay, so graphic novels, I am going to pick them up because I think it's so important for you to actually see the art. That's what when I go to graphic novels, I want to see the inside of it. Does it speak to me? Is it beautiful, wonderful, marvelous, glorious? All that. So I have my card. Okay, real quick, we'll go over. So Naked. Oh, it's actually The Confessions of a Normal Woman. This one, very brief queer mention of anything, but I put it on the list because Pride Month is, I think a celebration of our gender identity, sexuality, all of the, I guess, our awakening of who are we, what do we want in relationships with one another. And this book was kind of that way. It was a lot of her own, I guess, exploration of her sexual relationships with people, with herself, but it also dealt with some shame that she had growing up. So I really liked it. I thought it was a really beautiful story. The end made me cry a little bit. Yeah. But it is just a really beautiful book. Probably like some crazy stuff in there, but I'm always also like the fact that people, they obviously when they do these, I mean, they're geniuses for like they're artists for a reason.
Yeah.
But when you have limited colors to work with, you know, they usually have a solid like palette that they're going with, and to still make really great art, and you're not distracted by, wait a minute, there's only like 3 colors I'm looking at this whole thing, but everything is so new and fresh. I love it so much. It was really, really good. And then Mimosa, this was giving, let me see. I think it's giving the L Word Generation Q. They go to brunches. They're in their 30s, which is why I was like, oh, this could be good, because I don't see a lot of, I guess I don't see a lot of realistic
adult queers.
No, not just queer, because I don't mind if it's not queer, but I don't see a lot of adult friendships, relationships in their 30s, but that are reflective of me as a 30-something-year-old. It's always like, yeah, they're in their 30s, but they're acting like they're like fresh out of high school or something. There's messiness and the relationships, and there's a lot of it's always toxic and weird, and like I can't relate to it. Yeah. Because I'm so healthy. And but this one it's fun. It's friends for friends. They're in their 30s. They all have different things going on. There's like financial problems, divorce, like actual real life things that people go through, being a single parent. And I thought it was like fun in that way. But it is 30s, but young. So that's why I put, it's like the L Word Gen Q, where when I was like, oh, they remade the L Word, and they're still toxic. Like no one learned anything. So, but I thought it's still a fun read.
It's still important stories that are out there, because clearly this comes from a person's real life. It's not just like some random fiction story that this person is like completely making up. Yeah, it is drawn from real life, and literally drawn from real life. So I do think that it's important to like see those, just because we're not at where they are. Yes, I think it was still well told.
Yeah, and I did struggle a bit with it, because I, as also a creative myself, I don't want to talk down on someone's work, it was their work, you know, that's maybe where they are in their life and how they want to tell a story. But I just know like what I connect with, and I am desperate for something that reflects where I'm at in my life, and maybe I'm just a 50-year-old in this body. But I do feel like I don't ever see myself in stories or films, and I'm the same age as they are, but I seem to skip past a lot of the things that they've gone through. So I always feel left out in stuff.
It's very interesting when you think about these kind of things, because I feel like who you were at 18, 19 is very different from, say, your siblings being at 18, 19. We were just talking about this last night, and I thought, I realized one of Britt's little sisters is the age that Britt was when we first met. And I cannot imagine your little sister going through something like you went through. And then we look at people that are our age. Yeah. And I also feel like we also don't connect with a lot of
it is a bit of a struggle for us of where are we in film and literature. But these are stories, and so other people, this is what they've experienced. I just think that maybe it's more incentive for us to do something about it. I agree. To then tell these stories or give platform to people that have these stories, and it's maybe they're not talked about as frequently or as out in the open, because you know they're not signed to big publishers, but to at least give them a space, or for us to talk about it. So I agree. This one right here, Gay Giant, this one I feel like, okay, so there's the straight woman that has a certain, whenever she thinks about, oh, I wish I had a gay best friend. Okay, we already know what that gay best friend is like. He's like the flamboyant, sarcastic, snooty guy that we always see time and time again. Me, as a gay woman, if I ever had a gay male best friend, it would be this guy. And this is because I feel like he is an introvert, but he is hysterical. He imagines things that is not true, but it's like where my brain goes of like, yeah, does this mean this? And like we're in our own world. So I feel like maybe a little bit like the other side of me. Yeah. Which is why I was like, oh, I could be friends with this kind of gay guy.
It was really good.
But it tells his story. He comes from a small town in Chile. Am I supposed to say Chile?
As a Mexican?
Yeah.
Yes. As a you?
No.
It's up to you.
But he comes from a small town. He coming to terms with his own sexuality. He's also a big man, right? It was like this manly man that how does he identify with queer men that he sees reflected in media? And but I love it too, because there's a lot of us that use humor as a coping mechanism, but also because life is just funny to us. So with our own coming out stories and navigating our struggles and, you know, our sexuality and a lot of us have felt heavy stuff. We've gone through really, unfortunate situations, but I really appreciate too when people can kind of find the humor in it, or, and not so much in a way of like, oh, you seriously need to work through that trauma, but just, I have worked through it and I can laugh about it now because it's actually, I'm much better now. And that's like a chapter, in the past. So I love that because it helps me get out of my funk of like someone is out and proud and living their best life. They've created a book, which is like amazing. They're telling their story through this. They're doing what they love, which is art. And so for me, that's a win. Whether we laugh at it or cry at it, it's a win. So that's really good. I
noticed those last three, they're all very minimal in their color palette.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that you go towards?
I think I
consciously or subconsciously?
I don't know what I go for. I go for just because like there's nothing like even his, it's like funny generated. Like you guys know who this person is. X-Files, right?
I thought it was Mario Lopez from right here.
Is it?
No, it's X-Files.
I don't know what it is I go for. To be honest, when I was looking at a lot of these though too, like there's other ones I have that are not queer, but I go for heavier bodies of work. I don't mean to. I just really like them. But I think I can relate and I want to learn more about other people. But yeah, this one, I don't even think this one has color. It has a little bit of color. Okay, so this one, Fun Home. I will preface. This one is heavy, okay? There's some heavy stuff that goes on in this. But it is Allison telling her story of a difficult relationship she had with her father and retelling it now from the, I guess now the perspective of her age now. Like looking back, I guess it would be like us where we learned something about because you do learn something kind of big about her dad in this. I don't want to spoil it, but where you then start to go back and every memory you have,
you reevaluate.
You're like, well, maybe this meant this then. And I didn't even pick up on it. Why? Because I was so young and I didn't even know. So this one was a really great one. I hate to say things are heavy, but I mean, I just want to say that, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Because especially when it's someone's story, because for me, it's like, oh, this is just someone's story. But I know that, Bridge always tells me too, like, do you ever pick anything like more lighthearted? Because like she wants to read the graphic novels too. And I'm like, well, I guess I can start picking out some lighter ones. But when I read this one, I made a note. I keep forgetting to do that with the books. Bridge wanted me to start putting a note in like the book once I finish reading it.
I forget too.
Oh, okay. Well, I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
But I put, while the book has some heavy themes, I enjoyed it. Memoirs and autobiographical works that involve trauma aren't difficult for me because it's someone's truth and reality, unlike works of fiction that are heavy for the sake of shock value. And I just put like I definitely want to check out their other books. So this one was really good. Did I already show the inside of it? Okay. It was really good. It was sad. It was but I thought it was really good.
Again, minimal color palette.
Yes. I don't think this one
This one is actually not minimal color palette.
Gaytheist. It is about a gay atheist.
But But he wasn't always atheist, right?
No. He is a coming-of-age graphic memoir about a young man who, growing up in an Orthodox Jewish community, realizes he's gay and struggles to reconcile his faith with who he is. Why I like this one? Well, first of all, it's this man's story. He was, in a community that would be incredibly difficult to leave. Going back to the Amish thing. Okay. So, what was it? Orthodox Jew. Something that I came across, a word that, what is it? Hold on, Bridge. You're going to have to speed this up. Hold on. I'm almost there.
Clickety clackety.
That was a big swallow. Of course, it doesn't want to show me.
Oh, she says a curse word.
Ethno-religious? Is that
ethno-religious? Sounds like a word.
I don't know. Does it though?
Did you look it up?
Ethno-religious group. Okay. So an ethno-religious group is a group of people with a common religious and ethnic background, or in some cases, a religious background exclusively. Can also be considered a subcategory of ethnicity where members have a common religion, which they collectively believe to have. Mm-hmm. Going back to Amish people. So I realized too, I am so interested in the Jewish community. One, because I'm sorry, I just don't understand. When it's like, what are Jewish as ethnicities and then Jewish as a religion? Like I always get confused with that. But this one to me felt a lot like, if you haven't seen it, it's Disobedience with Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams. And it's a very similar story, but for young boys or men that are coming to terms with their sexuality. Do I leave this or do I stay in it? And why it fascinates me, the same thing going back to the Amish community, is because I cannot imagine having to I guess there's us being Mexican and then Christianity, right? But I can't say that within Christianity, there's things that we had within our own, like the Hispanic side of us, that it was so intertwined with our religion that if I were to leave it, I'm leaving both of those.
Yeah, because it would be very different because a lot of Hispanic people or Mexican people are Catholic, but they can leave Catholicism while also still holding to their Hispanic traditions. This feels like how can you leave the Jewish religion and still hold on to all of your familial.
But I think even Hispanics, there are Hispanics that are deeply Catholic in a way that I would never relate to. That even, my brief time in the Catholic Church, I didn't get baptized. I didn't go through, like most times when Nan took me to the services, it was in Spanish. So I didn't even understand. I just wanted the bread, the little wafer she would bring back for me. And so it fascinates me that, and my heart like really goes out to people that are in these communities, because you're not just leaving a religion like, oh, well, we're with our family still. We still have Hispanic traditions that we uphold, but we're not Christian. Okay. For them, they have to leave everything that they've ever known. Yeah. So the things that they do, it's like, were you doing that also because of your ethnicity, or were you doing that because of your religion? Yeah. And how those often cross over. And it's like, well, I guess a little bit of both, And so having to relearn all of their way of thinking of life, it's just a completely different experience that I think it takes so much courage and bravery and I think just trust in yourself to know, like, whatever I lose, I know that I'm doing what's right by me. And so, and that's why I love Amish that makes books sense too, but like the Amish community, because it's like this sect of people, this community that now to leave it and find someone else that can relate to everything that actually made you who you are.
Yeah.
But you're not going to, it's almost like when you leave it, you're never going to get that again.
Yeah.
Or you have to leave it and go make friends with other people who have also left that community to maybe find someone that's like-minded in that way. But even then it's like, well, what do they still keep? What, what traditions did they decide to, carry on? So that's so interesting to me. This one, it was a bit of a sad story, but it was a good one. And the last one is Flung Out of Space. I think I mentioned this one briefly. Yeah. It's about the author who wrote Carol, which is a book, and then they turned it into a movie. The book, when it was first published, was called The Price of Salt. And then when she republished it years later, she went with the title she originally wanted, which was Carol. And so this is about, did I show you the inside of this one?
No.
I'll do a little quick little. There's a little bit more colors, I guess, but maybe it is.
They're all like a very soft style of drawing as well.
That is true.
A traditional comic drawing.
Also, does everyone else agree this looks like Melanie Scrofano? Do you see that?
I could see her playing her.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Mel, what are you doing here? Yeah. So this is a work of fiction, but it's kind of it's what they believe maybe events to have inspired the author to write Carol, which I thought was an interesting way to tell a story.
It's not by the author.
No.
It's about the author.
Yes.
Author.
Yes, it is about the author.
Okay.
And if I imagine like, well, what went on in her life that influenced her to write this book. So, and then piecing together things that they know of history and then writing that story. It was a easy read, really cool. I learned something cool in there that I want Bridge to read so I can be like, and did you know? But she hasn't read it yet, so.
Yes.
And then a little thing that they did in the back that I liked is they kind of went over, what do they title it? Pretty much why it's the bringing Pat to life. So the commentary of the visual development of this.
I love
book,
that.
which I thought was really cool of why they did, what they went with, what was originally they were going to go with and decided not to, because I think there's 2 writers on this book.
Oh, okay.
So it was really good. If you're a fan of the movie Carol or the book, you'd probably like this. It's fun. Oh, now you're going to read it?
I'll take it.
Okay. And then that's it.
No, wait. You have
these were honestly, I don't even have really much to say about these because I haven't read it. These were just honorable mentions.
Okay, wait. This is we're gonna go into the next segment then. Okay.
Oh wait, there's another segment.
Well, this is the last segment.
Oh my god.
And it's gonna be brief and quick. It's gonna be June's TBR.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
This is why it's over here.
Can I add this to the TBR?
No, this is your TBR. This is my TBR.
That's too much.
3 books. 2 short books and a comic book.
I'm a hard worker woman.
She is. However, I see you at night. 2 hours of doom scrolling, okay? This is a new rule for me, okay? Which if you want to follow, you can follow. But essentially, what I'm going to do is I will... There's no getting away from audiobooks for me, okay? I'll listen to them during the day.
Okay.
But that is it. Nighttime, after dinner time, essentially, it is only physical books for me.
And when is after dinner time? Can we start? What's the time?
I just said after dinner.
Well, what's an actual hour?
When do we eat dinner?
5:30.
Okay.
From 5:30 to the rest of the night, no audiobook for you.
I can do that. Can you?
I don't listen to audiobooks.
Okay. So my goal is it's very ambitious, or shall I say ambitious. I have a couple of queer books.
You're going to read all of those this month.
Who knows if it'll actually happen, but I'm going to strive for it. Okay. There's 4.
How did you throw out your back?
By trying to not hit the microphone. I have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I'm pretty sure there's like some kind of queerness in it. Brideshead Revisited, which was an Alice recommendation that I picked up probably last year for my birthday. And Hijab Butch Blues, which is also an Alice recommendation, which also I picked up from last year. And then this one is The Boy in the Rain by Stephanie Cowell. I don't know much about it, but the back kind of got me, which, how did you throw out your back? It's 1903 in the English countryside when Robbie, a shy young art student, meets the 29-year-old Anton, who is running from memories of his brutal childhood and failed marriage. That sold me.
What's that? What year?
1903.
Okay, so this one too, also that we have not read, but
I see it's like trying to run through to get this episode done.
No, it actually I feel like it could be partners in crime.
Okay, yeah.
This one is following a group of British tourists vacationing on the Italian Riviera during the 1920s. The hotel explores the potent mixture of passion and repression that dictates the lives of the well-heeled residents of the eponymous. Do
you need to know what it means?
Yeah, what does that mean? Establishment. Vulnerable and impulsive young women navigate restrictive societal mores and incomplete freedom. Playing tennis, oh my gosh, the rage. Organizing picnics, oh my gosh, and breaking hearts. When the young Miss Sydney falls under the sway of the clever Mrs. Care, a sapphic affair simmers.
I didn't know that was
below
sapphic.
the surface.
Ooh.
And the result is equal parts comic and cruel.
Oh, okay. So when you bought that book, I don't remember reading the back, and I just remember thinking, it's good. It's what's her name that writes all of these mystery novels?
Oh, Agatha Christie.
Yes, that's what I thought it was.
Okay, so I don't know how good it. I don't know how good it is. Okay, but it looks like a little tiny book.
Eponymous means of a person giving their name to something. The eponymous hero of the novel. Of a thing. So named after a particular person. So Roseanne's eponymous hit TV series because it was named after her.
Okay.
Tell me the sentence it's used in again.
What is it? The hotel explores the potent mixture of passion and repression that dictates the lives of the well-heeled residents of the eponymous establishment. So the hotel.
The book is called The Hotel.
That's a great word. Because sometimes I'm like, how do you say that?
Yeah.
So we can even use it for us, for our website and then the podcast. Yeah. Okay. Go on.
And then my last one is just flung out of space. Flung out of Brittany's hands.
Okay, this one is, I've seen it recommended a few times. I've actually seen this cover so much. Yeah. I didn't know what it was, to be honest. But apparently it's,
juicy.
It is very juicy. And in the 1950s, so I guess we like old era. We're in our old era.
Yeah.
In the 1950s, Paris of American. Okay. Why are they hitting me with the big words? Expatriates?
You know what an expatriate is. But take the word apart.
The
expatriate.
That's not how you spell patriots, though. Okay. Liaisons and violence. A young man finds himself caught between desire and conventional morality. Oh my gosh.
It's just a person who lives out of their native country.
Oh, okay. David has just proposed marriage to his American girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. But while she is away on a trip, he becomes involved in a doomed affair with a bartender. It's always the bartender named Giovanni. Damn Giovanni. With sharp, probing insight, James Baldwin's classic narrative delves into the mystery of love and tells a deeply moving story that reveals the unspoken complexities of the human heart. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I'm only going to read this because someone recommended it, and they talked really
why
highly.
We read everything we read.
No, but they said something about how this book made them feel uncomfortable. Like the first time a book has ever made them feel uncomfortable and like having to come to terms with their own feelings. And I forgot exactly what he said that it made it sound interesting. And he's a straight man. But I thought, okay. Here's what I'm going to be honest. I have a hard time loving stories, especially where it's gay themed stories and affairs are involved. Cheating is involved where the person is aware. So that one movie with Harry Styles, Bridge and I got in a fight over that one.
We did not get, we got into a discussion.
We'll get a discussion. Okay. During the week, when we do the week of the films, you're going to know why.
You're stressing me out already.
But I do struggle with it because I'm like, I don't ever see that it's okay.
Justified?
Yes. For you to do that to someone. But I'm willing to give this a chance because I realize we live in a world where there's complex people and I'm one of them. So, and then Dejuna. I don't know how to say her name, but apparently she was a literary icon, but she was also queer, and she had a bit of a difficult life. And so I thought that this looked pretty good. Again, it's 1920s. Apparently it's a sign for us to go to the 1920s. And so that's going to be this month. We're going to be revisiting the 1900s and connecting with our old soul selves. But it looked cool on the inside. Very simple, very simple. Artists everywhere like, that was not simple.
Do you know how long that took me?
But it looked really
a simplified
good.
palette.
Oh, and I also really love books. Another thing too, I really love books that teach me something about someone that maybe I would not sit through a history book about them. But it's like a quick, like, here, everything I need to know about this person. Now maybe I want to read their actual books.
Yeah.
So I like that where it teaches me something, but it's also light enough for me to read through it pretty fast.
Yeah. Let me see if this will play. Juna. So the D is silent.
Juna. Who was that talking?
Juna Bard. Sounds like when they were doing like the high school diplomas.
Yeah.
I had 3 other books on that stack.
Give it
This
up
is
already.
No, this is literally just titles. One is a book that I started last month, and I was reading it while we were on vacation, and then I came home and like just didn't read it at all.
Ooh.
But so I want to finish it. It's No Two Persons by Erica Bauermeister. Yeah, I want to finish reading.
But is it gay?
It's not gay. That's why it's
Bridge,
like,
don't come and interrupt our Pride Month.
It's I'm halfway through the book.
She's just bragging now. She's just like, anyways, here's the stack of books that I also am reading.
And listen, also, if I can, I want to get to Mitch Albom. We know how much we love him. Albom?
See, this is nothing to do with Pride
Month. But I have been freaking depressed and really going through it.
Pride Month,
so
we don't deal with
have
depression.
A little faith.
Okay, no, move on.
And then also pretty anxious about some things going on too. So Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. Again, are you sure he's not gay?
He's not. He's talked about his wife when he has panic attacks.
Okay, sorry.
I do want to say, I want to take a quick moment. Today's sponsor, me. And with wrapping it up on this, it is so important to prioritize your well-being.
Yes.
So this month also brings a lot of mixed feelings for people that are not in a place where they can celebrate, are not in a place where they can be out. Maybe they just got broken up with. And I know I've heard from a lot of people in the community. I watch so many stories of other people. The pool feels very small to begin with. So to find someone that is somehow on the same level as you, want the same things in life, ready to, whether it's marriage, kids, all of that, it's tough. And I think that if anything, I want to leave you all with encouragement and send love, because we can sit here and talk for hours about books and it's so great and we love it and we're married and we're living our best life right now. Well, clearly Bridge is not.
I am still in my best life,
but
I could be in the closet still.
Me too. Huh? Oh yes, that's true. But we have been through challenging situations. Our coming out was not the easiest, but I just want to also hold some space for those of you who are wanting to vicariously live either through characters you read about, characters you see on TV, or even just us on your screen, that maybe you're not in the best place right now. I think I want to say that it gets better, but it only gets better if you are doing the internal work to make it better, because we cannot control everyone's feelings, emotions, what they say to us, like legal stuff too, what goes on in the world, all the things that we see that kind of brings us down. And what is our future going to look like? What is our kids' future going to look like? There's so much things we cannot control. What we can control is inside our home, inside our hearts, as cheesy as it is, but we have to do the work.
Yeah.
And I have to do the work. Even now, we've been together 14 years, been out of the closet 8 years, 9 years this year, I think, right? Or 8 years this year. I don't remember.
Cow.
We've been out for a bit though already. And I still have to do work. I still have to ask myself tough questions when I'm thinking about my spirituality, religions I grew up with, and still having family that's deep in church and asks us things that's like forces us to revisit God and all these conversations. So it's constantly in our face, as much as other people say that our sexuality is in their face. So I just want to leave you guys with some love, with some laughter, and with some beans. But Bridge, do you have anything else to say?
No, I just hope that you take this month to celebrate it in whatever way you want, because maybe you do like to go out and party and hang out and be amongst your people. 100% do that. Take advantage of everyone being so vocally out this month. And then when July rolls around, continue to have that same pride in yourself and where you are in life, and do the things that you want to do, and also become the person that you want to be.
I love that. Last thing, quick shout out to Cow Dog. Yes. I saw that they had opened a new cafe location. So if you're in Vancouver, Canada, definitely check them out. But I also saw they're doing something great, which I really appreciate as someone who does not drink. I don't judge you if you drink, but I just don't drink. So don't judge me if I don't drink. But they started something which is Bed by 9, and they're gonna do pop-ups, I think, at one of their bigger locations, their coffee shops, to have non-alcoholic drinks and I think music and just socialize. I love that concept so much, because a lot of times I do think, well, I would like to do social events without the expectation that I have to drink. Which is why I drink kombucha, because it's like a mixed drink but for my gut. And so shout out to them, because they're doing so much, like so many cool things that I'm so excited for them. And they're so clever with their marketing and everything like that. And they're two queer boys, men, and they're just doing it. They inspire me so much of like, our time's coming, wait it out. You got this. So we want to inspire you. You got this. It's okay. You might be in a tough season right now, but we're going to get through this. We are all going through something, but we can go through that something together. So I hope you find some inspiration here, some encouragement, and
some laughs.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say, babe?
No, we're all in this together.
We love you guys. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. So anyways, guys, they're burning. So